Thank you.
Okay, then, okay. Let's get to it. Unit 7. Again, it has to do with work, and this is the last unit that deals with work and education. Then from Unit 8 on, the topics are gonna change. So چند نفریم؟ 15. I think that's enough. So Unit 7, I'm all ears, Malihajan. Let's get to it.
Okay. A career in sales. When Carl left school, he took the first job he was offered in telesales. He thought telemarketing sounded quite glamorous, but soon found that most of the people he phoned hated cold calling and put the phone down when he tried the hard sell. That's okay till here?
Okay, let's analyze the new words, then we'll continue. So at work, careers. Part A, a career in sales. When Carl left school, he took the first job he was offered in telesales. Telesales or telemarketing means?
It means selling or marketing goods and services by phone.
Exactly, telesales or telemarketing. He thought telemarketing sounded quite glamorous. Glamorous means something exciting and different from ordinary things. Exactly, interesting. So glamorous. He thought telemarketing sounded quite glamorous, but soon found that most of the people, pay attention how I link these words together. Most of the people he phoned hated cold calling. Cold calling,
phoning people who have not requested a call in order to try to sell them something.
Okay, and put the phone down when he tried the hard sell. Hard sell,
attempt to sell something by being very forceful or persuasive.
Persuasive, exactly. What does this mean? Persuasive, to persuade somebody. When you persuade someone, it means that you convince them, you give them good enough reasons to do or not to do something, convince them. So persuasive is the adjective for persuade verb, persuasive, the adjective. However, Malihajan, continue, please.
However, he persevered and found he became quite skilled at persuading customers to part with their money. He then moved into a job on a TV shopping channel where he specialized in selling merchandise for the leisure market. He did so well at this that he set up his own sportswear company and hasn't looked back since.
Thank you so much. However, he persevered. A lot of students mistake this word for the verb preserve because of the similar spellings. But this is persevere. It means to keep trying to achieve something, to continue doing something. But preserve has a different meaning. So persevere and preserve. However, he persevered, and it means he went on and found he became quite skilled at persuading customers to part with their money. Part with their money?
Part with their money means spend money.
Exactly, exactly. It's a really lovely phrase, part with their money. He then moved into a job on a TV shopping channel. TV shopping channel?
A TV channel devoted to selling products.
Exactly. If you've watched the movie Joy, you would, see a clear example of TV shopping channel where, Bradley Cooper and
Joy?
what's her name? Exactly. The name of the movie is Joy.
No.
And Jennifer Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Lawrence and Bradley Cooper, have played in that movie.
Actors.
It's a really... I didn't get you.
I said this movie has a lot of famous actors, but I think I didn't see this one.
Yeah, there are a lot of stars in it. Even Robert De Niro has played in it. It's a really lovely one. Guys, if you want to see a clear example of, telemarketing or TV shopping channel, you can just, go and watch this movie, Joy, Joy. So where he specialized in selling merchandise for the leisure market. Merchandise
means products that are bought and sold.
Bought. Exactly.
Bought.
It's okay. The leisure market means, the kind of products that, deal with entertainment. They are focused on entertainment and recreation. Write down this word, recreation. It's another synonym for leisure activity or recreation activity. It's a common word in IELTS. It's a French word, right?
Yeah. In French, we have recreation.
And the meaning
exactly
is the same?
Yeah.
خیلی من دوست دارم این چیزو، میدونیم اصلا از وقتی که این چند ماه اخیر شروع کردم با کمک تو فرانسوی خوندم ملیحه جون، انقدر پشیمونم که کاش میدونی زودتر شروع کرده بودم. یه سری آره، اون که هر وقت شروع کنی بهتر از هرگز شروع نکردنه. ولی این توصیه رو که به شخص تجربه کردم میخوام انتقال بدم به بچه‌ها هم. برای کسی که لول انگلیسیش مثلا آپر اینترمدییت هست یا حتی ادوانس هم نیست، آپر اینترمدییت هست، خب یه سری لغت‌هایی هستن که خیلی سنگینن واقعا. خب آدم هیچ جوره نمیتونه، نه اینکه هیچ جوره ها اغراق میکنم یک کوچولو اینجا، ولی سخته واقعا کد شکنی کردنشون، نمیدونم به یاد سپردنشون، بس که میدونی رایج نیستن توی انگلیسی روزمره استفاده نمیشن. خب ولی وقتی میای فرانسوی میخونی میبینی که این لغت‌های مثلا قلمبه سلمبه‌ای که توی انگلیسی هستن یه سری اصلا لغت‌های خیلی پیش پا افتادن توی فرانسوی. خب و انقدر قشنگ، درسته خب تلفظ چیزه، باید دیگه تلفظا جدا یاد گرفته بشه، ولی معنی انقدر قشنگ میشینه سر جاش که اصلا آدم کیف میکنه، میگه اونقدر اونجا زور زدم من مثلا لغت انگلیسی رو یاد بگیرم نتونستم. آره ولی الان که توی فرانسوی یاد گرفتم کامل دیگه رفت نشست سر جاش.
آره
این حالا بچه‌ها اگه
ریدینگ انگلیسی خیلی بهم کمک کرده، مثلا دارم یک لغتیه که توی زبان انگلیسی دارم اولین بار میبینم، باهاش آشنایی ندارم، بعد که نگاش میکنم با دقت مثلا فرانسوی اگه سعی بکنم بخونمش میتونم بعضی موقع ها یه لغتیه که معنیش دقیقاً داره از همون کلمه میاد که توی فرانسه ما داریم و به خاطر همین خیلی موقع ها میتونم معنی مثلا اگه تکست رو بفهمم با استفاده از تشابه لغت هاشون. 2000 تا لغت مشترک دارن.
2000 تا
2000
کم نیست.
شاید حالا به این دقیقی نباشه. اون موقع که ما دانشگاه میرفتیم من یادمه که این تو ذهنمون که یاد گرفتیم تقریبا 2000 تا لغت مشترک دارن. آره خوبه،
چقدر خوب. آره من که میدونی یه ایده، حالا درسته وقت کلاسم به اصطلاح داره میره، ولی این واقعا تجربه شخصی بود که خواستم به بچه‌ها انتقال بدم. من یه ایده‌ای داشتم، مثلا اون موقع که کلاس زبان میرفتم برای انگلیسی داداش بزرگم همیشه میگفت سریع اینو یاد بگیر، فرانسه هم خیلی راحت‌تر میتونی یاد بگیری با این. میگفتم بابا اصلا این دلت خوشه، نفست از جای گرم بلند میشه، چی رو فرانسه هم میگفت. خیلی لغات مشترک دارن. خب
بالاخره تاثیر
بعد
میذاره.
آره میگفت که خیلی برات کمک کننده خواهد بود فرانسوی، انگلیسی وقتی که داری فرانسوی یاد میگیری. من باور نمی‌کردم، بعد تا اینکه حالا شروع کردم، حالا هی شروع کردم هی قطع کردم، تا اینکه حالا با کمک تو شروع کردم دیدم نه واقعا اینطوریه، خیلی خوبه. آره پس این ریکرییشن هم داره از فرانسوی میاد. خیلی عالی. یه دونه بچه RE، یه دونه هم کرییشن، همون کرییشن چیز خلق کردن، میک کردن دیگه، معنیش میشه leisure, spare time, recreation time, leisure activity, etc. So اینم از این. He did so well at this that he set up his own sportswear company and hasn't looked back since. Look back since.
حواسم پرت شد وایسا. Look back since.
Is it yours? You want to take it, ملیحه جان؟
نه حل شد. Has moved forward successfully.
Exactly. حالا من با اجازت یه بار این پارت A رو روخانی کنم، بریم سراغ پارت B. Part A, a career in sales. When Carl left school, he took the first job he was offered in telesales. He thought telemarketing sounded quite glamorous, but soon found that most of the people he phoned hated cold calling and put the phone down when he tried the hard sell. However, he persevered and found he became quite skilled at persuading customers to part with their money. He then moved into a job on a TV shopping channel where he specialized in selling merchandise for the leisure market. He did so well at this that he set up his own sportswear company and hasn't looked back since. Okay. Part B, buying and selling.
A person's purchasing power is the ability they have to buy goods. For example, the amount of money they have available. If you
I رو ببخشید اینجا یک corrected کنم. I رو for example نمی‌کنیم، اون EGه. I رو میگیم that is، یعنی it means.
That is.
آره.
قشنگ. That is. Okay. That is the amount of money they have available. If you shop around, you try different companies or shops to see which offers best value.
همه اینا آره دیگه اکثرا جمله ها طوری نوشته شدن که آره داره تعریف میکنه عبارت مد نظر رو.
Okay.
Go ahead please.
If you want to buy something, you need to find a shop that stocks it. It means keep a supply of it or keeps it in stock. If you trade something up, usually a car or a house, you buy one that is of higher value than the one you had before. And opposite of trade something up is trade something down. And people sometimes make a purchasing decision based on brand loyalty. It means confidence in that particular make and a tendency always to choose it. Supermarkets sometimes sell an item for less than it costs. For less than it costs them in order to attract a lot of people into the shop where they will also buy more profitable items. The item being sold at a low price is called a loss leader.
Loss leader. میخوای تا اینجا یه دور من روخانی کنم بعد ادامه بدیم، بعد لغت‌های احتمالی رو هم چیز کنیم، لغت‌هایی که چیزن. Okay. Part B, buying and selling. A person's purchasing power. The pronunciation is purchase.
Purchase.
Yes? And when adding the ing, it is pronounced purchasing. A person's purchasing power is the ability they have to buy goods. That is the amount of money they have available. Purchasing power. این پرژه میشه قدرت خرید. If you shop around, you try different companies or shops to see which offers the best value. If you want to buy something, you need to find a shop that stocks it. Stocks it means keeps a supply of it or keeps it in stock. If you trade something up, trade up. Again, this is a phrasal verb, trade up. If you trade something up, usually a car or a house, you buy one that is of higher value than the one you had before. The opposite is trade down. People sometimes make a purchasing decision. Based on brand loyalty. It means confidence in that particular make. Make here is the noun referring to the products of a specific company. Confidence in that particular make and a tendency always to choose it. A tendency. If you have tendency towards something, it means that you are, always...
You tend to, for example.
Exactly. You tend to. You are likely to choose it other than the others options. Where was I? Supermarkets. Supermarkets sometimes sell an item for less than it costs. Them in order to attract a lot of people. چرا اینطوری خوندم من اینو؟ Supermarkets sometimes sell an item for less than it costs them in order to attract a lot of people into the shop, where they will also buy more profitable items. The item being sold at a low price is called a loss leader. Loss leader. This is quite a lovely phrase. Loss leader. Loss leader. Okay, continue, Maliha Jan.
Yes, Sima, I couldn't find an appropriate translation for a loss leader in Persian. داریم مثلا چیز معادل یا میتونیم یا کلا میشم کالایی که داره به ضرر فروخته میشه یعنی داره به قیمت پایین‌تر فروخته همینطوری
نمیدونم والا معادله به خصوصی تا حالا به گوشم نخورده. آره اگه داشته باشیم من نمیدونم. حالا بچه‌ها اگه میدونن اینجا قسمت questions میتونن برامون بنویسن.
Okay. For a company to sell its products, it has to price them appropriately, give them a price. If a company finds a niche market, it finds a specialized group of customers with particular interests that company can meet. I think one of that is extra, yeah? In my book, there is two that. Interest.
There are two that, huh? If a company finds a niche market, it finds a specialized group of customers with particular interests that company can meet. آره یه دونه one of the that's are extra. Is extra.
If an item is said to come or go under the hammer, this expression was very interesting for me. Come or go under the hammer. It is sold at an auction, sale of goods or property where people make gradually increasing bids, and the item is then sold to the highest bidder.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, come or go under the hammer. When I studied this book, this one was new for me too. Go or come under the hammer. Okay. Now, for a company to sell its products, it has to. For a company to sell its products, it has to price them appropriately. Price them means give them a price. Appropriately. The pronunciation is appropriately. When it's a verb, is appropriate, and the verb form, has a different meaning. Appropriate. It's closer to the meaning of the word plagiarism that we had in earlier units. Yeah, appropriate as a verb means somehow plagiarism, okay? But as an adjective and as an adverb, it is pronounced appropriate and appropriately. So, if a company finds a niche or niche, two pronunciations, niche or niche market. And the meaning that is considered here is the second meaning of this word. If you want to find out about the other meanings, you can check them out. I think it has three meanings. If a company finds a niche or niche market, it finds a specialized group of customers with particular interests that company can meet. If an item is said to go or come under the hammer, it is sold at an auction. So, sales of goods or property where people make gradually increasing bids and the item is then sold to the highest bidder. Bidder is the person who, make bids. Okay, that is with part B. Now let's move to part C. Okay.
A career in business. A career in business. A few years ago, Tina started her own software development business, which turned out to be very lucrative. However, she got increasingly irritated by all the red tape involved in the administration of a business, and when a larger company contacted her with a proposition,
این proposition هست.
Proposition, okay.
آره اولش درست گفتی.
Okay. With a proposition suggesting a takeover, she was interested. Okay.
Okay. A career in business. A few years ago, Tina started her own software development business, which turned out to be very lucrative. Lucrative?
Producing a lot of money.
Or we can say profitable. Profitable or lucrative, yeah. However, she got increasingly irritated. By all the red tape involved in the administration of a business. Red tape?
Bureaucracy, negative.
Bureaucracy, I think in English it is pronounced bureaucracy, yeah.
Okay, bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy in the administration. Administration?
Organization and arrangement of operations.
Exactly, of a business, and when a larger company contacted her with a proposition suggesting a takeover, she was interested. Proposition?
Proposition means a formal offer.
Exactly, suggesting a takeover. Takeover?
A takeover means agreement in which one company takes control of another one. Compare with merger, in which two companies join together to become one company.
This is really important point, guys. If two companies join together, we call that the two companies have merged. We call the action merger. Okay, so merge and merger. But in this case, there has been a takeover. It means that one company goes into another one. The first one kind of loses its identity under the first one's flag. She was interested. At first, the two no شما ادامه بده ملیحه
At
جون.
first, the two companies could not agree on all the details of the agreement, but they managed to reach a compromise and hammer out a deal without too much delay. In many ways, Tina was sad that her company had been but
Swallowed up.
swallowed up, swallowed.
swallow میدونی swallow همون به معنی قورت دادنه توی انگلیسی. swallow. خب یعنی اینجا میگه که take over که کرده یعنی انگاری که اون شرکت رو قورت داده. swallowed up.
Had been swallowed up, but she has used the money raised by the sale of her capital assets to invest in a business startup, an online holiday property letting agency. An online holiday property in startup an online holiday property letting agency هستش.
Exactly. So, at first, the two companies couldn't agree on all the details of the agreement, but they managed to reach a compromise.
Come to an agreement in which both sides reduce their demands a little.
So, reach a compromise or make a compromise. We use the word compromise with the verb make as well. Reach a compromise, make a compromise. And hammer out a deal.
Hammer out a deal. Talk in detail until a business agreement is made.
It means they made a deal without too much delay. In many ways, Tina was sad that her company has been swallowed up.
Taken over by a larger company.
But she has used the money raised by the sale of her capital assets.
It means buildings and machines owned by a company.
Buildings and machines owned by a company. Capital assets to invest in a business startup. Invest in.
Put money into.
And startup.
Startup means a business organizing the rental of holiday. New company. New company. Startup.
New company. An online holiday property letting agency.
A business.
What does that mean?
It means a business organizing the rental of holiday houses and flats.
Exactly. So let me read part C again one more time, and then we will go through the exercises. A career in business. A few years ago, Tina started her own software development business, which turned out to be very lucrative. However, she got increasingly irritated by all the red tape involved in the administration of a business. And when a larger company contacted her with a proposition suggesting a takeover, she was interested. At first, the two companies couldn't agree on all the details of the agreement, but they managed to reach a compromise and hammer out a deal without too much delay. In many ways, Tina was sad that her company had been swallowed up, but she has used the money raised by the sale of her capital assets to invest in a business startup, an online holiday property letting agency. Okay, now let's move to the exercises. Now, exercise 1. What are we supposed to do?
Match the two parts of these business collocations from the opposite page.
Number 1 is loss.
Loss.
Loss what? It
Do you
collocates
want to
with.
turn on the comments?
I did. I already did.
I can't see. Okay. For me, comments are off. Okay. Loss. Okay. Agency, channel, leader, tape, power, loyalty, assets, sell, market. I know.
Last what؟ بذار ببینیم بچه ها کامنت میذارن.
Okay.
Loss what? There it is. Loss leader. Number 2.
Capital.
Capital or capital what? Number 2, guys. Capital what? Assets. Exactly. Capital assets. Number 3.
Purchasing.
Purchasing. Yeah, purchasing. Purchasing what? Purchasing power. Thank you. Purchasing power. Number 4.
Shopping.
Shopping what? به همه هم که مثل هر هفته اینجا هستن. لیلای عزیز، سعید، عطا، آقای قاهری. بچه اگه کامنت نمیذارینم یه حاضری بزنیم ببینم کیا اینجا هستن. دارم به صورت anonymous میبینن. اگه میتونین یه نقطه چیزی بذارین بدونیم که کیا با ما هستن. Number 4 ملیحه. Shopping channel.
من بگم. ببین من کامنتارم اصلا نمیتونم ببینم نمیفهمم الان بچه جواب دادن ندادن چی شد. آره
من نمیدونم که هنوز چیزا رو نداری، کامنت ها رو نداری. چرا بچه ها کامنت گذاشتم من مثلا ازت خواستم که بخونی جوابو. Shopping channel. Okay.
لایو من تو خیلی قشنگه. تو منو نمیبینی، من کامنت ها رو نمیبینم.
نه من امروز تو رو میبینم.
راست میگی؟
گوشیتون کرد. آره.
Okay. Hard.
Hard what? این دوستام در اینجا کامنت گذاشتن. اصل و آتیه و آقای حسین پور و مرسی که همراهی میکنین. خب بچه hard چی؟ hard sell. Hard sell. Number 6. Letting. Letting what?
Letting agency.
Exactly. Letting agency. Thank you. Next one.
Brand.
brand loyalty. جواب اومد. Brand loyalty. Next one.
Niche.
Niche or niche what?
Market.
Exactly. Thank you, Maliha. And number
the
9 رو هم
last
بگو بریم
one,
سراغ
the
exercise
last
2.
one is red tape.
Red tape or bureaucracy. Thank you. Now let's move to exercise 2. Look at A and B opposite. Fill the gaps in these sentences. So the answers are supposed to be from part A and B, not C. Number 1, Maliha Jan.
A world famous painting will go blah 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 the hammer in London tomorrow.
جواب چیه بچه ها؟ A world famous painting, a world famous, it means it's known, it's popular. A world famous painting will go what? The hammer in London tomorrow. Go under or come under. Exactly. A world famous painting will go under the hammer or come under the hammer in London tomorrow. Number 2.
It's a sensible idea to shop blah 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 a bit before buying a computer.
It's a sensible idea to shop blank a bit before buying a computer.
Can I say?
Shop around.
Shop around.
سعید نوشت کاش چیزا رو میدیدی کامنت ها رو.
میخوای یه دقیقه قطعا دوباره جوین شم؟ من تو که هستی دوباره
آره اینم فکر خوبیه. باشه. Waiting for you. It's a sensible idea to shop around a bit before buying a computer. آره. Shop around. It's a sensible idea to shop around a bit before buying a computer. Thank you guys. Thank you for the answers. بچه اسم کتاب رو نوشتم اینجا. نگاه پین شده کامنت. Vocabulary in use. English vocabulary in use. level advanced درس 7 هستیم. به صورت ترمی نمیریم جلو، به صورت درس به درس. الان درس 7یم، یعنی 7 جلسه از هر جلسه یه درس خوندیم. خب اومدیم.
Now I can see.
اوکی خیلی هم خوب. Number 3.
Salty made the right decision when she quit her old job and set up her own business. She hasn't looked blah 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 since the day it opened.
So what's the missing word, guys? Sally made the right decision when she quit her old job and set up her own business. She hasn't looked since the day it opened. Looked.
Looked back.
Looked back. Since the day it opened. Number 4.
I don't mind trying a hard sell on a person who has already expressed an interest in our products, but I hate blah 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 calling.
So, what is the missing word, guys? I don't mind trying a hard sell on a person who has already expressed an interest. چه قشنگه express an interest. It means to show an interest. Who has already expressed an interest in our products. But I hate what calling?
Cold calling.
Cold calling. But I hate cold calling. Number 5.
It can be quite hard to persuade my dad to blah 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 with his money.
ملیحه جون اینجا یه چیزی برای شما انگاری نوشتن. ملیحه که خودش معلم زبان فرانسه است.
خب الان داریم انگلیسی میخونیم بچه‌های عزیز.
Yes, we're studying English and tomorrow we'll be studying French at 7:30, right?
Yes.
خب. It can be quite hard to persuade my dad to with his money.
To part with his money.
Exactly.
Sima Jo, can we say invest with his money?
آخه میدونی اینجا معنی اینوست نمیده. وقتی اینوست میکنی عملا پولتو چیز نمیکنی. چی میگن؟ دور نمیندازی. خرج نمیکنی. سرمایه گذار میکنی. ولی اینجا it can be quite hard to persuade my dad to part with his money, to spend his money.
Okay.
Number 6.
I'm going to make a blah 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 for the dining table that is up for auction tomorrow.
Make a what, guys? Number 6. I'm going to, or you would hear Americans saying this like this way. Amana make a blank for the dining table that is up for auction tomorrow. Make a bid. I'm gonna make a bid for the dining table that is up for auction tomorrow. Next one.
My current job is in blah blah blah. I spend all the day on the phone.
My current job is in blank. I spend all the day on the phone. What's the answer for this one? My current job is in
telemarketing.
Exactly. Thank you, Maliha. Telemarketing or telesales. My current job is in telemarketing or telesales. I spend all the day on the phone. Next one.
They produce special clothes for people who practice yoga and have really cornered this blah 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 market.
They produce special clothes for people who practice yoga and have really cornered this blank market. Corner here means they have dominated the market, or they have control over, or they have manipulated it. Niche market or niche market, exactly. They produce special clothes for people who practice yoga and have really cornered this niche market. Cornered.
The shop I went to didn't blah 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 the printer I wanted, so I'm going to order it online.
The shop I went to didn't the printer I wanted, so I'm gonna order it online.
Didn't.
Stock.
Exactly.
Yeah, didn't stock. The shop I went to didn't stock the printer. It means they hadn't they didn't have it available. The shop I went to didn't stock the printer I wanted. So I'm gonna order it online. Okay.
خیلی عجیبه.
Now, exercise 3.
Replace the underlined words with a word or phrase from C with a similar meaning.
Number 1.
As their business interests were quite different, it took them a long time to come to an agreement.
As their business interests were quite different, quite here means very. As their business interests were quite different, it took them a long time to come to an agreement. How can we paraphrase this phrase? Come to an agreement or آره بچه جواب اکسرسایز آخر از دوم یعنی اکسرسایز دوم شماره آخرش جوابش didn't stock هست. خب ملیحه جان میشه خودت جواب رو بگی؟
Reach a compromise or make a compromise.
Exactly, thank you. So as their business interests were quite different, it took them a long time to reach a compromise or to make a compromise. Or آفرین سعید, hammer out a deal. آفرین, hammer out a deal. اینم میشه to come to an agreement.
بچه ها من الان فهمیدم که من از خودم چیز بزنم ببخشید وسط کار.
چی شد ملیحه؟
ببین الان فهمیدم من میتونم فیلتر بذارم وقتی که دوتایی یه لحظه گفتم
ولی تصویرت رو آورد نزدیکتر.
خوب شد بهتر شدم ولی
یه کوچولو باید بری تو که کلا بهتری بابا.
برگردم به حالت عادی نمیخواستم بیا عادی شد.
عطا به املایی reach دقت کن. reach a compromise نه reach a compromise. Number 2.
If you want to go into the import and export business, you had better be prepared for a lot of bureaucracy.
به به یه کامپلیمنت هم اینجا اومد برامون ملیحه بیشتر حالا به تو شامل میشه. Guys, I have to say you both look gorgeous today. Thank you. عطا مرسی.
مرسی. و اینکه ببین سیما من خیلی ناراحتم دیگه نگفتم ولی بازم من اولش که جوین شدم میتونستم کامنت رو ببینم بعد الان دیگه آخرین کامنتی که میبینم همون بده که آقای سعید نوشتم گیر کرد دوباره. خلاصه بچه بدونید اگر با من صحبت کردید من نمیبینم کامنت ها رو.
الان یعنی باز نمیبینی؟
نه فقط کامنت های هم اول که جوین شدم یه سری کامنت رو دیدم استاپ شد.
یک اسکرول اپ داونی بکن ببین شاید از گیر در اومد.
کردم همین داشتم این کارا رو میکردم اون فیلتر رو یه دقیقه کشف کردم نشد.
ای بابا. رد تیپ هم اومد. If you want to go into the import and export business, you had better be prepared for a lot of red tape. Thank you. Number 3.
At the moment, they are discussing the possibility of buying up another company. Buying up another.
At the moment, they're discussing the possibility of buying up another company. At the moment, they are discussing. بچه دقت کنید که discuss about نداره ها. این خیلی common mistake رایجیه. Discuss بدون حرف اضافه. They're discussing the possibility of buying up another company. خب جواب بیاد take over. آفرین سعید. At the moment they're discussing the possibility of a takeover. چون takeover یه noun هست باید یه دونه باهاش a هم بیاریم. A takeover. They're discussing the possibility of a takeover. Number 4.
Sportswear is a very profitable business to be in at the moment.
To be in at the moment. اینطوری.
To be in at the moment.
Sportswear is a very profitable business to be in at the moment. خب به جای profitable چی بذاریم؟ Lucrative. بچه اگه بگین lucrative یعنی ت رو به صورت true تی واقعی تلفظ کنین کاملا درسته ها lucrative. ولی توی آمریکایی به صورت lucrative اکثرا تلفظ میشه. تی میشه flat T. Lucrative, yeah. So sportswear is a very lucrative business to be in at the moment. Number 5.
Banks will only lend a new business money if they have a realistic business plan.
So how do we paraphrase a new business? Banks will only lend a new business money if they have a realistic business plan. Realistic business plan. ملیحه جون میخوای بگی جواب رو؟
Startup.
Exactly. Banks will only lend a startup money. اینطوری من دارم استرس جمله رو جابجا میکنم. Banks will only lend a startup money if they have a realistic business plan. خب. Next one.
A number of small companies have been blah 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 by that huge multinational in the last 6 months.
So how do we paraphrase taken over? A number of small companies have been taken over by that huge multinational in the last 6 months. به جای taken over چی بگیم؟ مرسی سعید، مرسی عطا. ملیحه جون میخوای بگی جوابو؟
Swallowed up میشه.
Swallowed up. Yes, swallowed up. A number of small companies have been swallowed up by that huge multinational in the last 6 months. Number 7.
Hassan has made a rather interesting suggestion about setting up a business together.
Hassan has made a نمیدونم حسن رو انگلیسی چطوری تلفظ میکنن. حسن میگن، حسن میگن. I don't know. ولی ما که دادیم اسم رو حسن.
Because it's چی میگن؟ ما میگیم که non pop. اسم خاص رو چی میگیم؟
Special name.
Special name دیگه. اصلا اشکال نداره special name ما هر کی میتونه.
آخه میدونی بذار اتفاقا خوب شد. من یه نکته داخل پرانتز بگم. یه میسکانسپشنی که بین بچه‌ها هستش اینه که خب ما وقتی اسممون رو میگیم، مثلا اسم شهری رو میگیم، اسم غذایی رو میگیم، باید یه کوچولو تلفظش رو این ور اون ور کنیم که انگلیسی یا خارجی تر به نظر بیاد. خب حتی نه تنها زبان آموزا، من اینو بین بچه یعنی مدرسا هم دیدم. خب ولی خب این حسن مثلا چطور برفرض شد کاترین یا نمیدونم میشل تلفظش برامون سخت باشه، اسمای ما هم براشون سخت تلفظش.
چون براشون سخته اونجوری تلفظ میکنن وگرنه تلفظ اونا که درست نیست از اون اسم. بخواد مثلا
دقیقاً
مثل توی فرانسویه نمیتونه بگه آرزو، میگه آغزو. خب آغزو که آغزو نیستش که بگی که ولی حالا تو وقتی که داری فرانسوی صحبت میکنی میتونی هم بگی آغزو هم میتونی بگی آرزو، چون تو میتونی آر رو بگی، به خاطر همین هیچ اشکالی
دقیقاً
نداره. آره.
دقیقاً. من یه بار رفته بودم باز یه تعیین سطحی، اون موقع زبان آموز بودم. خب بچه حالا تا ما صحبت میکنیم جواب بنویسین دیگه. نوشتن. رفته بودم، بعد اینا اول به من گفتن که اولین کسی که با من مصاحبه کرد گفت که خانم شما سطحتون خیلی زیاده، اصلا من حس میکنم که اینجا میتونین مدرسم بشین. یکی از مؤسسه‌های خیلی تاپ تبریز بود، اصلا اسمشو میدونید ترلی هم نمیکشه. بعد ولی گفت که با یکی دیگه از همکارامون هم صحبت کنین، اونم باهاتون مصاحبه کنه، نظر قطعی رو بگی. منو ارجاع داد به یه شعبه دیگه. اونجا گفتم خب I study in Tabriz, I'm from تبریز. بعد آخر سر که به من فیدبک داد گفت که شما باید بری از elementary شروع کنی، تفاوت رو ببینه. اون یکی میگفت که تو باید چیز کنی، اینجا مدرس بشی. اون یکی میگفت که تو باید از صفر شروع کنی. بعد گفت که تبریز رو هم تبریز تلفظ کن از این به بعد. خب آره، باز قضیه همین. من که میتونم بگم تبریز، چه کاریه برم مثلا از یه انگلیسی که نمیتونه تبریز رو کامل بگه تبریز میگه دقیقاً عین اون بگم.
اصلا اسم خاص و هر کی هر جوری میخواد میتونه بگه. این نظر شخصی من. نه واقعا
گیری کردیم خلاصه.
چون اسم خاصه میدونی تلفظ تعریف شده ای نداره.
Exactly. خب بذار ببینم چی نوشتم بچه. شماره چند بودیم؟
7 رو گفتیم. حسن.
حسن شروع شد همه چی. حسن has made a rather interesting suggestion. It has two pronunciations guys. Suggestion. به جای suggestion بچه ها نوشتن آفرین proposition. Hassan has made a rather interesting proposition about setting up a business together. Now, next one, Maliha Jan, please.
Chloe is much better at the creative side of business than the organization involved in running a company.
Chloe is much better at the creative side of the business rather than the organization involved in running a company. Administration. Chloe is much better at the creative side of the business than the administration involved in running a company. Now, let's move to exercise 4, the last one. Choose the best word to complete each sentence.
I hope we will be able to keep or reach a compromise when we meet tomorrow.
I hope we'll be able to keep or reach a compromise when we meet tomorrow. Which one is the correct answer, guys? Keep or reach a compromise?
Great.
Reach or make. میتونیم ببینیم کامنت ها رو؟
Yes.
خب. Reach or make. I hope we'll be able to make a compromise or reach a compromise when we meet tomorrow. Next one.
I think those new games consoles are priced or purchased too high at the moment.
I think those new games consoles are too high at the moment. Are
great. One of
priced.
Yeah, گفتم بچه. Priced.
I think those new games consoles are priced too high at the moment. Number 3.
The shops are hoping to sell a lot of capital assets or merchandise connected with the royal wedding.
The shops are hoping to sell a lot of what connected with the royal wedding? royal wedding. merchandise.
Yeah.
اینو شک دارم خودم یه کوچولو. بذار یه دابل چک بکنم. آها merchandise. Yes, thank you, Said. So the shops are hoping to sell a lot of merchandise connected with the royal wedding. خب, number 4.
My sports car was so expensive to run that I decided to trade it down or up for something much cheaper.
My sports car was so expensive to run that I decided to trade it up or down for something much cheaper. آفرین سعید. Trade it down. My sports car was so expensive to run. To run here means to use. That I decided to trade it down for something much cheaper. Next one.
Helga has never looked back or looked out since they started her own business 10 years ago. She started her own business 10 years ago.
Helga has never looked back or out since she started her own business 10 years ago. Look what? اینو خودت بگو دیگه خیلی. بچه هم ذاتن گفتن. Looked back. And the last one.
There's a lot of loss leader or red tape involved in setting up a new business.
There's a lot of.
بابا سرعت جواب رفته بالا. زودتر گفتم بچه‌ها. میگم سرعت جواب دهی رفته بالا. بچه‌ها زودتر جواب دادن. red tape رو گفتن بالا.
که من ندیدم.
سریع.
Red tape, yes. Yeah. Thank you. There's a lot of red tape or bureaucracy involved in setting up a new business. Thank you. So that is with Unit 7.
Yeah.
So for next session,
okay,
we'll be studying Unit 8. And guys, please also review Unit 6. Okay, any questions, Malihajan? Any comments, any questions?
No. I asked my question during the lesson. Thank you so much. It was great.
You're welcome.
Thank you.